Okay, from chapter 1. No matter how self-assured we are, in a fraction of a second, our lives can be utterly devastated. As in the biblical story of Jonah, the unknown forces of trauma and loss can swallow us whole, thrusting us deep into their cold, dark belly. Entrapped, yet lost, we become helplessly frozen by terror and helplessness. Early in the year 2005, I walked out of my house into a balmy Southern California morning. The gentle warmth and soft sea breeze gave a lift to my step. Certainly this was the kind of winter morning that makes everyone in the rest of the country, with the possible exception of Gerson Keeler from Lake Wobegon, and maybe he does as well, want to abandon their snow shovels and move to the Southland's warm, sunny beaches. It was the beginning of a perfect kind of day, a day when you feel certain that nothing can go wrong. But it did. In a moment of truth, I walked along being absorbed in happy anticipation of being with my dear friend Butch for the celebration of his birthday, 60th birthday. I stepped out into the crosswalk. The next moment, paralyzed and numb, I'm lying on the road, unable to move or breathe. I can't figure out what has just happened. How did I get here? Out of a swirling fog of confusion and disbelief, a crowd of people rushes towards me. They stop aghast. Abruptly, they hover over me in a tightening circle, their staring eyes fixed on my limp and twisted body. From my helpless perspective, they appear like a flock of carnivorous ravens swooping down on an injured prey, me. Slowly, I orient myself and identify the real attacker. As in an old-fashioned flashbulb photo, I see a beige car looming over me with its teeth-like grille and shattered windshield. The door suddenly jerks open. A wide-eyed teenager bursts out. She stares at me in dazed horror. In a strange way, I know and don't know what has happened. As the fragments begin to converge, they convey a horrible reality. I must have been hit by this car as I entered the crosswalk. When this happened, I was in a dissociated state for sure, because I remember an off-duty paramedic came by and commanded me not to move my neck, but as I oriented towards where the sound was coming from, he said again, "Don't move, your neck can be broken." And then I experienced this bizarre dislocation. I mean, I've worked with thousands and thousands of clients where something like this happens in their sessions, where I was literally out of my body, looking down on my limp, twisted body, and feeling kind of a neutral sadness almost, but also a neutrality at this poor man that was just hit by the car. Thankfully, a young woman came by and announced herself as a doctor, a pediatrician, actually, she said. And I remember thinking in the kind of the funny part of my brain, that's the perfect specialty. This is exactly what I need right now. And she asked me, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And I said, "Yes, please stay here with me." And she sat down on the pavement by my side and took my hand in her hand and squoze it gently. And in that moment, I could sense, I could see the part of me that was outside of my body come back into my body. And I started to have tears. and shaking and trembling and waves of shaking and trembling, and where I would turn icy cold or warm, where I feel burning hot. There was like a red hot emotion of rage, and it was like, this damn kid, how come she didn't stop? Why did she go through the crosswalk? Absolutely fury. But the shaking and the trembling went on for at least 30 or 40 minutes. And again, the woman was there with me. And having developed this work, and literally worked with tens of thousands of people over the years, I know what to do. But I don't know if I could have done it alone. I would have needed this other person, this empathic witness, to be there and to help hold that space. You know, there's a Motown saying, it takes one to stay in the dark alone. It takes two to let the light shine through. And in therapy, we really gift our clients when we can bring our presence into the arena of the therapeutic exchange. And it's not something that's simple or trivial. It really is about how to get present, and literally present in our bodies.